Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're doing better than the weather out there. It's absolutely awful out there. I've just got in, I'm absolutely soaked, but I'm still going to try and do a video for you guys because there's been a lot of busy news stories out there today on Monday. And what's not awful is the stock market. Great day in the market and a great day in the market for these two. Now, I've got to say, for one of them, it didn't look like it was going to be a good day, but that's massively turned around as the day's gone on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about Sofi because there's a lot of stuff going on there with Sofi and Supreme as well. So I hope you enjoy these two updates on these two stocks I own. If you could, hit the like button and let's get started. And just a quick shout out, if you do want to join the Patreon to celebrate the really good market rally that we're having, join through the link in the description. £5 a month, you get 2 exclusive videos a week on there. Last night we dropped a live Q&A session, and this week I've got 2 portfolio reviews, and I've also got a stock request coming up for you guys as well on there. So for £5 a month, it's not too bad at all. But first of all, let's go with Sofi today. Sofi, so I own Sofi, and currently today the stock is up 22%. What a day for Sofi. And when you look at the earnings, there's no surprise there. Fantastic earnings. The EPS was a positive EPS. This has been the big talking point for a long time now. It was a little bit of a miss, but we're all right with that because the big thing we wanted to see was positive EPS. And they did it. That's proved a lot of people that have been negative on this stock wrong, because now what you have is you have a fast growing company and you also have a profitable company as well, which is amazing. Guidance as well, I thought the guidance was pretty good. Now, I have been at work all day. I've been trying to read a couple of stuff at lunchtime. I've not got around to the conference call yet, which I want to do, because knowing Anthony Noto, the CEO of Sofi, he would have probably dropped a few more gems in that conference call. But like I said, I haven't got enough time yet to go through it, but I will go through it a little bit later on. But I wanted to get this video to you guys as well. What was also impressive was the guidance. They gave 2024 guidance. They actually gave a bit of a longer term guidance as well, which you can see down here, which suggested they're actually going to aim from 2024 to 2026 to grow at a compound rate of 20 to 25%, which is obviously pretty good as well. But the big thing was profitability. If you actually look here, they grew at very good rates without having to grow the sales and marketing. And when you look at the net income, look at this. It went from a loss into a positive, which is absolutely amazing. So with that there, that proved a lot of people wrong, that the company can still grow rapidly and also grow profitability as well. Now, obviously, if they carry on doing the guidance, and we've seen this before with like Palantir, for example, Uber, when these stocks, Celsius, obviously one that I own as well, when these stocks hit that inflection point of where they are drawing up profitability and growing revenue this fast, this is going to be really exciting where Sofi goes, because it is going to be pushing towards the S&P inclusion at some point if it does hit profitability, and if it can keep up the revenue growth as well, it looks very interesting for Sofi. And obviously the share price is doing really well today because a lot of the shorts are getting crushed. I talked about this before. We talked about it 3 weeks ago. The Sofi shorts were out massively trying to jump on pushing this stock a little bit lower. Even in my comment section, I was having people that were negative 3 weeks ago on Sofi. Look at this comment from Glenn, for example. I mean, classic, obviously Andy Pickering's in the comment section. I mean, he's after another poster, is this lad. And we had like Jason who's saying it was a hype stock. Well, I've got to say, Jason, when you look at the financials they've come out with today, the growth they're doing while driving up profitability, this looks anything but a hype stock to me. This looks like a company that's absolutely smashing the financials, and he's starting to get rewarded on the share price. And it looks like what I mentioned a few weeks ago when I was talking about Sofi and the short attack. We saw this from KBW, and we saw them come out with a downgrade, if you remember, on the 3rd of January. It caused the stock to go down massively on the day. I think it was down 13-14% on this downgrade, and it was like, who are you? Who is KBW to cause this stock to go down? And who are they to say the shares could drop 20%? I think they got that wrong a little bit. I don't think they could drop 20%. I think they could go up 20%. I think that's what they're meant to put, but absolutely crazy. But like I said, when we looked into the KBW, when we did the research on this video, it was clear that they were obviously backing the big banks and they wanted Sofi to suffer. And once again, this shows that Sofi is taking big market share from a lot of the traditional banks, and that was shown in the financials today. But I won't say much more than that because, like I said, I've only had a look at the headline numbers and some of the figures in the earnings report. But when I've got a bit more free time on Tuesday or Wednesday, actually, I think Tuesday I've got a long drive up to Wetherby, and on Wednesday I think I got a longer drive to Hull. Actually, I'll probably get through those financials during that time frame as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to going through the Sofi's full numbers. But yeah, cracking day, so well done to any of you shareholders. Now, that wasn't even the craziest part of the day. That wasn't the crazy part. The crazy part was Supreme. Oh my days, you talk about volatility in a stock, you got it with Supreme today. The stock opened up, the low today was 87 pence. 87 pence, and then the stock, someone sold today at 87 pence. And then the stock went up 30% from that point in one day. What a big swing with this company. And there was a point when it got to that sort of level, the company was like 6 times earnings, and the dividend yield went all the way up to 4%. How insane is that? Now, the crazy thing is the stock went lower on news that we already knew, which was the crazy thing. We saw that disposable vapes were banned in the UK, and it wasn't a surprise. It wasn't a surprise that this came out, because we saw that they were thinking about doing it in September. So it was like, why is the stock down this much since that time frame? It was an absolute crazy dip in the share price. Ultimately, I think there's a bit of a misconception with this vape. Now, there's an element of that, you've got to be careful, and there's going to be a discounted value put on Supreme because of the risk of vaping regulation on it. That's 100% fine. But I think 6 times earnings is absolutely crazy for this company here. But I think there's also a bit of a misconception about why these vapes are getting banned. And it's to stop the explosion in the youth. And they're trying to make it less appealing for them. And they're thinking that the reusable vapes will be less appealing to the children, as well as packaging and everything like that. So this is why it's not tackling vapes because it's unhealthy. It's tackling because a lot of people that shouldn't be doing it are doing it, and they're putting those restrictions on to stop them. When you actually look at the facts, vaping is a lot healthier than smoking, and ultimately I think it'll get to the point where smoking is banned and a lot of people are pushed onto vaping to be a lot healthier. And I think vaping will be around for a long time because the government will lose a lot of taxes in the smoking side of it, and then they'll make it up from the vaping and probably tax the vaping. That's my opinion on where it'll go in the longer term, so I think they'll be okay. But I think there's a lot of misconceptions, and I saw this on Twitter, which was Courtney Rebel, which is a UK investor. Got big respect for him, but I totally didn't agree with his opinion on Twitter today, which was talking about health issues with vaping. I think this is just a big conspiracy theory out here about it. When you look at the evidence at the moment, it's proven that it's substantially less harmful than smoking, which is on the NHS website, and all the research says that. I think there's just this big conspiracy theory out there at the moment that vaping is this thing that's worse than smoking, when if the science and the evidence at the moment is that it isn't, that's probably what we should be. I know a few people like the conspiracy theories, I know a few people like looking at the earth and thinking it's flat, but I think this is just one big conspiracy theory that's being blown up. And ultimately, where I look at this at the moment, this isn't because vaping is bad. What it is it's stopping the people that shouldn't be doing it, which is absolutely fine. Now, I think eventually a few people went at this and went, oh yeah, that's probably true, and the share price rallied a little bit more. But as the day went on, there was also another big jump in the share price. Now, tactically, Supreme, which by the way, cracking management team up at Supreme, they actually brought out a trading update. Now, the trading update was actually planned to come out later this week. They brought it forward to bring it out Q3, which is obviously to try and respond to the share price and the negativity out there. If you look at the trading update, yeah, very, very good. Trading significantly ahead of current financial year 2024 market expectations. Supreme fully support the recent published vaping review. Same again. The reason why they're supporting it, because they go, yeah, younger people shouldn't be doing it. So even they're fine with it. 2025 outlook unaffected, which you want to see. 1 million proposed share buyback program. They're now expecting to do revenue of at least 225 million. They're expected to do adjusted EBITDA now reaching at least 38 million, doubling financial year 23's adjusted EBITDA as well. The ELF bar, which is probably the part that was going to get affected the most, if anything, is now expected to grow significantly, exceed previous guidance as well. They talked about the review here as well. They talked about the 1 million share buyback a little bit more. They said that the company expects that approximately 75 million of its revenue, 33%, and 9 million adjusted EBITDA will be from disposable vapes. And then they talk about how they think that will transition from the disposable into the reusable, which most people will do. Most people that use the disposable that you see here, they're going to switch to the reusable, 100%. So Supreme is hardly going to be affected. Like I said, this is only cracked down on the younger people, and if anything to the US, the actual UK government, is a lot of these people that are using disposable vapes that are younger people, they're just going to go get the reusable one. The ultimate thing that is going to solve the crackdown is the people that sell them ID more. That's how you crack down on it, and until that point, that's the big thing. But the thing is that the government as well can't ban the vaping and smoking, because you then create a black market. And I think the other point that is probably worth pointing out is that at what point do you go, that's pretty controlling when you start talking that sort of stuff. You know, at what point do you go, oh, you know, alcohol's bad for you, so you know that you're allowed to drink whatever you want, or you're only actually allowed to have 5 pints on a night out now. Or actually you only can have 3 pints a week. Like, at what point do you kind of call that, you know, there's a lot of things out there that's bad for us. Where's the line of where you go, okay, that's getting a little bit controlling now. So I think there's that element as well. So there's a lot of things here at the moment where I think a lot of this is getting blown out of the water and conspiracy theories. I would personally not worry about it. And as you look at the numbers here, the numbers are absolutely fabulous. And you're picking up a company that's going to pay you a 3% dividend, 4% if you picked it up this morning, and 6 times earnings if you picked it up this morning, or 7 times earnings now. So yeah, cracking update from Supreme. What that actually led me to do is, if you're on the Patron, hint, if you want to join, link in the description, you would have seen that this morning I actually bought some Supreme. I know I don't normally tell you guys until I do the stocks I'm buying series, but I am going to let you know that when the stock did drop 16% this morning, I was buying some shares. Now, what I did not expect to happen today is I did not expect the stock to do this. So what I actually did is the shares that I did buy this morning, obviously they have brought my average down. I was up on the position. They did the job. I got more shares at a cheaper valuation, brought my average down, and I made a lot of money. So I did then take the stake that I bought out this morning when there were people selling the stock at 87 pence. I then decided to sell my shares out at whatever the order went through at, which I don't know if it was somewhere around the £1.10p, £1.11p range. Then I sold the shares that I bought for a nice bit of profit as well. So yeah, it's been a fantastic day in the count, because SoFi has absolutely rallied on some fantastic earnings and proved a lot of short sellers wrong that we obviously called out 3 weeks ago on this channel. And then Supreme, absolute crazy reaction on the share price, but created a buying opportunity. Did not expect the turnaround to happen that quickly in one day, but it happened. So I know a few of you guys that are on the Patreon, as well as me, you took advantage of that and bought some shares in the dip, and I'm sure you're all doing very well from that buy as well. So yeah, absolutely cracking day in the market. So well done to any of you guys that are Supreme shareholders or SoFi shareholders. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in a bit.